what's wrong with the world? Why this genocide is ongoing?
How's your family doing in Gaza?
Uh, they are they are exhausted, they are tired, they are scared, they are hungry, they are thirsty. What's the most scary thing they are afraid is the quadcopters that chase people in the alleyways and the streets appear from your window, from your roof. The beauty that I managed to film now is rubble. But what's more important than the buildings is the people. I lost loved ones. I lost my eldest sister, Asma, her 7 beautiful children. I can't believe that their bodies under the rubble. We are unable to pull their bodies due to lack of heavy machinery. After being away for 10 years, the moment when I arrived Rafah crossing, my family were waiting me at the crossing, cheering, we were in tears. And I didn't rest for 2 months. I used to wake up in the morning and come back home very late. I was filming, I was meeting my friends, my cousins, my relatives. I was visiting the nice places that I didn't see. There are so many nice places were built after I departed Gaza in 2013. So I was racing the time to see as many places as possible because I missed Gaza so much. Gaza will haunt all those officials who were able to put an end to this genocide and who are complicit.
Joining me today on Palestine is Yousef Alhelou. Yousef is a Palestinian journalist, political analyst, and filmmaker from Gaza, now based in the UK. Yousef has spent years reporting on Palestine. His most recent award-winning documentary film, The Phoenix of Gaza, captures his last visit to the Strip just months before October 2023, and it offers an intimate look at the vibrant side of Gaza, its many landmarks, and the resilience of the people there who have been enduring nearly 2 decades of Israeli blockade. Yousef has just returned from Tunisia, where the Sumud Flotilla, an international civilian mission, is sailing towards Gaza in solidarity and to deliver humanitarian aid in defiance of the Israeli siege. Yousef, alhamdulillah, salama.
Allah Salmek.
You were just in Tunisia with the Sumud Flotilla, people from all over the world who took it upon themselves to act, to break Israel's siege and to deliver solidarity and humanitarian aid to Gaza. Now, we know, obviously, that Israel has been trying to unsuccessfully sabotage the mission and to intimidate the volunteers. But what was that moment like for you personally, to see everyone there, the sheer determination and the mobilization to sail towards your homeland?
It's the unity amongst people worldwide, amongst pro-justice, pro-Palestinians, pro-humanity, who decided to embark in this risky mission to show solidarity with oppressed Palestinians in Gaza. They gathered from different countries, from all walks of life, from different orientation. Palestine unites them because they cannot stay idle seeing Palestinian kids, children, babies being killed and starved to death while doing nothing, because they say that their governments have failed them. So they are taking the matter into their hands. So they decided to embark in this humanitarian mission from Barcelona, from different European ports, and now in Tunis. And despite the risks and hazards, they will continue the mission to break Israel's prolonged blockade.
How did you feel personally? You're so far away from Gaza and you see these people, putting everything on the line, leaving behind their families and their jobs to do this.
It meant a lot to me as a Palestinian from Gaza because, they are not Palestinians, they are not Arabs, and some of them are Arab, some of them are not Muslims. It made me feel happy and proud that they say no to the genocide. It makes me have hope that these people will not rest. They will continue their solidarity campaign. They will continue to speak up against injustice. So it was moments of jubilation to see them embarking in this mission. They're carrying the Palestinian flag, they're wearing the Palestinian kufiya, they are chanting for Palestine. It makes me feel that there is hope.
And do you believe it will be able to meaningfully shift the blockade, or is this more about applying pressure on Israel, but also on their governments to actually act?
Five, five successful missions made it into Gaza and they broke Israel's blockade between 2009 until 2012, I think. Um, Even if the flotilla did not reach Gaza, their message has already reached Gaza. It's a symbolic gesture to show solidarity with the Palestinians. Israel is aware of these initiatives, and it tries its best to sabotage the missions by scaring them, by dropping firebombs on their boats in Tunisia and elsewhere, and they might be intercepted in international waters. So Israel doesn't want to see solidarity. It doesn't want to see unity amongst the people of the world, the freedom-loving people, people of conscience around the world. So I wish them all success, and I'm sure people in Gaza, they will be thrilled to welcome them if they made it into Gaza safely, and we pray for their safety.
Thinking back to your life before everything that's happened, and I'm talking about even before you've left Gaza, uh, tell me about why you decided to be a journalist and what was your sort of professional journey like in Gaza?
I decided to become a journalist and pick up the microphone to be the voice of the voiceless because the perception of Palestine in the West is manipulated, it's tarnished, it's twisted, and often the Western media doesn't give airspace to Palestinian voices. It succumbs to Israeli propaganda. So it's up to us Palestinian people to become journalists, to speak up against injustice, to expose Israeli crimes. There is phenomena across the occupied Palestinian territories, especially in the besieged, war-torn Gaza Strip,
Mm.
to become journalists because people are frustrated on the ground. They want to show the world what's happening on the ground. So anybody with a smartphone is a citizen journalist already. And in the 80s, we rarely heard the word Palestine before the digital era. And I wanted to become a journalist reporting in English um, because we need to address the Western audience.
To
We
set
need
the
to
record
address,
straight.
yeah, because we know the Arab world they are trying to show solidarity with us. The governments are not really eager to help. So we think the change has to become from the Western audience. It has to become from the so-called civilized nations.
Mm.
And because I was unhappy from the Western media coverage to Palestine, I remember in the late 80s or let's say 90s, whenever we used to meet foreigners in Gaza or they do not know the root cause of the problems. And when we came to the UK in early 2000 and so on, people when we say we are from Palestine, they say from Pakistan. I say no, from Palestine. So Palestine wasn't known. The root cause of the issue wasn't known. Um, but even the state of Palestine, the flag was not even included in the airlines drop list, even in WhatsApp at the beginning. So that was really annoying to us. And
What sort of stories did you cover back then? Like what were your reports generally about? Was it more like political developments or escalations, or is it more looking at the people themselves or kind of like a human lens? How did you
uh,
pick your stories?
we were reporting on the crises that Israel has caused as a result of the occupation, the siege, the infighting between the two political factions in Palestine, the suffering that the occupation has resulted in, the aspirations of people. We were also shedding light on the positive side, the dreams of the Palestinians to have a normal life. We were covering the commemoration of Nakba, for example,
Yeah.
the annual events, the suffering of farmers, the suffering of fishermen, the young people, the jobless people in Gaza, the graduates. So there was hustling and bustling of life, the vibrancy of Gaza, the markets. Um, so we were trying to send a message to the world that we are normal people, we have aspirations, we have dreams, we would like to live in peace and dignity. without occupation, without colonization. And we are not from the moon. We are not aliens. We are human beings like you in the West, across the world. We were reporting on the suffering of Palestinians to travel from Gaza to the outside world through Rafah crossing. Gaza is cut off from the rest of the occupied Palestinian territories. I was lucky in the year 2000. I flew from Gaza International Airport.
Oh,
So
wow, I did not know that.
these things didn't live long. It was for a short period of time. So the sovereignty, we are struggling for self-determination. We are struggling to be a free nation without foreign colonization. About these things, we were reporting on Israel's assaults and aggressions on Gaza 2008, 2012, 2014, and so on, and between aggressions, incursions, the shooting. But despite all this coverage, there are so many untold stories because you've got 2.5 million people in Gaza, and Israel, of course, now they killed over 245 journalists, and some journalists they become afraid now to report because Israel target journalists, unfortunately.
How does it feel for you to see all of that? I mean, these are people that are essentially your colleagues.
Um, it's it's um it's a sense of anger and frustration and outrage that the world is allowing this suffering, this genocide, this starvation, this ethnic cleansing to go on in the 21st century amid international apathy, silence, complicity. It makes me questions the principles and slogans of civilization and human rights and the international
You're
agreement
not
and
the
so
only
on.
one, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. So we are disappointed. We are very disappointed from the double standards, from the hypocrisy of the world who are watching us being slaughtered, killed, maimed, our houses destroyed. I lost my sister, my eldest sister Asma, and her 7 children. And by the way, they are still under the rubble until this moment for almost 2 years. Our 6 houses destroyed, like the rest of the population. So. Um, but despite this despair, frustration, we count on the determination of the pro-justice around the world. We see that they mobilize worldwide, but it's not enough. There must be a political decision, a political will on the British government. As a British citizen, I feel dismayed and angry from the stance of the British government that does not really tackle the human right violation. It just gave lip service, and this must change. The impunity that Israel enjoys must change. Israel has sabotaged the international system.
I mean, the UK is now hosting the president of Israel, and they've concluded that there is no genocide in Gaza.
This also shows the double standards. It shows that they are one-eye-sided. They have no regard, no respect to the voices of the millions of the British people who take to the streets almost weekly. It shows that the UK doesn't care about the suffering of their fellow human beings in Gaza because they look at Palestinians as subhumans. They always echo Israel's statements and propaganda that it does what it does in Gaza for self-defense. It fights the extremists and terrorists and so on. It claims that it suspended some arms licenses, but it continues to ship weapons and at the same time continues to give lip service and issue statements here and there. We are and we are not happy from this hypocrisy.
Yeah. I mean, we've known this from the start, but it's now, I think, crystal clear to everyone who's still been in denial that Israel has zero interest in negotiating a ceasefire. I mean, you don't go and strike the other side of the negotiating team as they've just done in Qatar unless you just really do not want those negotiations to be happening in the first place. And at the same time, they've ordered the entire population of Gaza City to leave, to evacuate, and they've started to kind of blanket raise the high-rise buildings over there. So what's next for Gaza?
This brings us to the same point again, the impunity. Israel acts as a gang-style militia. It claims to be the only democracy in the Middle East. claims to have the most moral army in the world, but its actions on the ground shows that the evilness and the hostile nature of that entity that attacked the messenger, the mediator that has been mediating for almost 2 years to bring an end to this genocide and to release the captives. Netanyahu broke the ceasefire last March. Otherwise, would have seen the release of all captives, and that would have put an end to this starvation and genocide. Israel is not interested in peace.
No.
But because of the blind, unlimited support of the United States, militarily, logistically, morally, financially, we see that Israel, brags. It's a spoiled brat that doesn't listen. It's out of control. Attacks sovereign countries, Qatar, Syria, Lebanon, Tunis, and who knows who's next. So this poses a danger to the stability of the Middle East because Netanyahu, his character, he wants to be remembered as the king or the person who scared the region. So unfortunately, the world is tolerating this danger maneuver by this fanatic, extreme person. And this doesn't make the world a safer place. So it's up to the international community, the European Union, because the US administration has never been an honest peace broker. So maybe the European Union, maybe China, Russia can play a role because this status quo cannot go on forever. People have been watching this genocide live stream for almost 2 years, and people are outraged and angry. What's wrong with the world? Why this genocide is ongoing? So clearly, these actions doesn't show that Israel is interested in peace. It wants to drag the region into chaos and to spread terrorism. What Israel is doing is a state-sponsored terrorism because you cannot just attack high-rise buildings in Gaza and kill civilians and kill people in nearby countries under the slogan of self-defense. Uh, um, this must Israel must feel the pressure. So without the pressure, without the sanctions, without the expelling Israeli ambassadors, without doing practical steps on the ground, Israel would continue its crimes in the region.
How's your family doing in Gaza?
Uh, they are they are exhausted. They are tired. They are scared. They are hungry. They are thirsty. They don't know what's gonna happen in the next minutes. They keep moving from place to place. Our 6 houses destroyed. They are being hosted by some relatives. Some of them they choose to live in tents in Deir al-Balah and Khan in Nusayrat in Gaza City. I have 60 members of my family, my brothers, sisters, their wives, and their kids. It's a big family, like the rest of the population. So they are telling me they are waiting to hear any glimpse of hope. They're asking me, what's next? What's going to happen? Is there a hope to hear a ceasefire agreement? So they are terrified. They don't know what's their fate in the coming hours. Um, and I wish if I'm able to help them. We send donations and money and so on, but it's not enough. They are worried about their future. Our people, Palestinian people, they love life. We wish if there is a safe route. We wish if there is a safe area. There isn't. So they're telling me that what you see on social media doesn't constitute 5% of the reality on the ground. They leave the intimidation, the fear, the loud bombs, the toxic air, the tanks, the Apaches, the F-16s. What's the most scary thing they are afraid is the quadcopters that chase people in the alleyways and the streets, appear from your window, from your roof. So it's a Hunger Game site. Israel has transformed Gaza into a testing ground, testing the latest technology on Palestinians.
Yeah. I mean, you've been in the UK for over a decade now, but Gaza never leaves us, right? Do you feel like living outside has made it easier or harder for you to carry its weight with you every day and also, especially now, to watch from afar helplessly?
Our bodies are here. Physically, we are here outside Gaza, but mentally, our hearts are in Gaza. Um, we can help Gaza from the outside. I'm luckily I appear on British media outlets, international media outlets. We speak, we express what's happening, we expose what's happening. We try to speak on behalf of the millions of Palestinians trapped in Gaza, strangled in Gaza, under blockade, unable to find the food. I'm constantly under stress. As soon as we wake up, we check our phones. God forbid, we don't want to see the names of our families amongst the victims and casualties. Even, as a journalist, as a human being, my family, wife's side, and the kids, they're worried about their safety of their family members, or their cousins, the children. Luckily, I visited Gaza weeks before Israel's genocide started. I documented the beauty of Gaza. It was the last visit. I didn't know that visit was going to be the last. Otherwise, I would have stayed longer than 2 months. But I think I managed to carry a heavy burden now. I'm touring the world showing this documentary film that won many awards. I carry the love of Gaza in my heart and mind, and I am touring the world to show the world that this is Gaza that you didn't have a chance to see, because Gaza has been always under blockade, under occupation. Israel claims that it has left Gaza in 2005, but it didn't. It still maintains full control of Gaza's airspace, territorial waters, and border crossings. So I pray for the safety of my family, the families of all Palestinians, because Gaza is a big prison. It's a big concentration camp, and there's no access to flee.
And when you rewatch that footage now from the documentary, knowing what's happened since, it must hit different. What goes through your mind when you see it, and how do you process all of that grief, maybe, or rage? I mean, I'm still in disbelief, personally, and I'm finding it hard to come to terms with the fact that everything is just gone to
Yeah.
everything is in rubble now. Like even my own home, like I can't imagine if I get the chance to go back to Gaza, that my home won't be there. It will just be rubble. That's if I can even go back. That's a whole other story. But how does that, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, I cannot believe what I see. I wish if it's a nightmare that we wake up and see Gaza intact and destroyed. So when I watch that movie, it brings smiles, joys, but also it brings tears and pain, and emotional feelings, that the beauty that I managed to film now is rubble. But what's more important than the buildings is the people. I lost loved ones. I lost my eldest sister, Asma, her 7 beautiful children. I can't believe that their bodies under the rubble. There are over 10,000 people still under the rubble. We are unable to pull their bodies due to lack of heavy machinery, and due because Israel has killed most of the civil defense crews. Israel does not allow the delivery and entrance of heavy machinery. People cannot find the food. Physically, they are exhausted. So people are mentally tired as well. So I cannot still process that this is still happening for almost 2 years. We're going to mark the second anniversary. And who knows when this genocide will end? Because as long as there is hypocrisy, there is complicity, there is silence, Israel will continue to destroy the remaining of the Gaza Strip. Now they are squeezing in, escorting Gaza City, destroying what's left. Um, this film is the last records of beautiful Gaza. The next generation, they will watch this 50 minutes long documentary, and they will be astonished that despite the siege, we managed to beautify and decorate the present. When they watch this footage, they wish if they were able to live during that era, because to rebuild what was destroyed, what's being destroyed, it will take at least 10 years. So it's really painful to see this documentary. Um, but I hope that we will be able to go back to Gaza to rebuild it. But what's important now is the safety of our families.
And when you think back to that visit, what moments stand out the most to you as you remember?
It's the reunification with my family after being away for 10 years. The moment when I arrived Rafah crossing, my family were waiting me at the crossing, cheering. We were in tears. You could imagine my visit to Gaza delayed many times because of the situation in Gaza, because each 2, 3, 4 years Israel wages a war, and because of the security situation in Sinai.
No, I didn't get
So
that chance.
yeah, it's really painful. And I didn't rest for 2 months. I used to wake up in the morning and come back home very late. I was filming, I was meeting my friends, my cousins, my relatives.
Mm.
I was visiting the nice places that I didn't see. There are so many nice places were built after I departed Gaza in 2013. So I was racing the time to see as many places as possible because I missed Gaza so much. Can you imagine that when I went, I spent um, 2 nights on Bianco Resort, 4-star resort. I couldn't believe this is Gaza. It felt like Greece, Italy, Spain. It's even prettier than that. Gaza. We love Gaza so much. Although we are away, we wish if Gazans live normally like the rest of the world. So Israel is intentionally destroying this beauty. It carries systematic destruction. It carries collective punishment because often the Israelis, the Zionists,
Mm.
when they see this documentary, the first comment is, "You Gazans, you claim that you live
I was
under
just about
siege."
to ask you that. How do you bridge that kind of like, oh,
Yes.
is it an open air prison or is it a nice resort? Make up your
Yeah.
mind. So how do
So
you bridge that?
so the
Because
answer is that
it's hard for them to accept that it can be a beautiful besieged place that you can make it,
they
and
want to
still a
maintain that.
prison.
Yeah, they want to maintain the image of Gaza as a place of destruction, suffering, armed men, destruction. Uh, so they don't want the world to see this beauty. So my answer is it has been always under a crippling blockade and siege, but we managed to beautify and decorate our prison. We managed to defy Israeli restrictions and collective punishment. All this beauty, we had to pay for it, double, third times the, 3 times the price. Especially the sea is the main recreational site for people in the summer. In light of the electricity outages and power cuts, despite the atrocities, the hardships, people were defying these harsh circumstances because we love life. We're not willing to leave Gaza. It's people are not willing to become refugees again after 1948 and 1967. So, but also they can see that we suffer under Israeli blockade because we don't have an airport, we don't have a seaport, we cannot go to the West Bank. Even the Christians in Gaza cannot go to the West Bank. Israel also wants to show the world that Gaza is not a peaceful state, a peaceful place for non-Muslims, but the Christian community were enjoying themselves, were happily integrated into the society. But also, despite this beauty, there is suffering. But my documentary sheds light on the determination, on the creativity, on the innovation, on the hopes of Palestinians.
Because people,
Uh,
when they're undergoing these abnormal circumstances and extraordinary suffering and pain, they cling on to the simplest things that sometimes bring you joy, bring you happiness, keep you going, really. I mean, even in when we see movies or films or drama of any kind, you always see, like, for example, in The Walking Dead, there's a zombie apocalypse, right? And they still try to find a way to hold on to the simple things, to, I don't know, have ice cream or go and do some skating if they found
Yeah, we create
skates.
the happiness. We create it.
Exactly.
It's not there, but we have to defy these restrictions. When I remember when I was visiting some of the recreational sites, Anur Resort, for example, many other places along the beach,
Mm.
I saw the smiles of children. The markets were hustling and bustling. The historical sites, Al Pasha Palace, Al Amari Mosque, Khan Yunis Castle, many other places, even the English Cemetery, because we used to visit it when we were young children.
I remember.
The restaurants, the cafes, the high-rise buildings. I managed to get rare footage of Gaza from the air. Um, People were adapting. We are easily adapt the situation. We can adjust. That's why I say we Palestinians, if you throw us in the moon, in the desert, we will adapt. We will manage to survive. So it's a message
Oh,
of
please,
survival.
please don't throw us on the moon or in the desert. We'd
No,
like
no,
to
no, of
stay
course not. Of
put
course,
in Gaza.
Gaza taught us how to survive. So the Phoenix of Gaza is a story of survival that we will never be extinguished. We will never um, vanish. We will stay there. We will teach the love of our homeland to our children. We will go back to Gaza. We will rebuild it. Uh, some people might leave because they lost hope, because Israel is killing hope. So hope is the only thing remains. And I wish um, that our children will be able to see free Palestine, if it's not in our time life, because we are certain that this colonization, this occupation will have to come to an end. Israel will never be able to maintain its occupation forever.
Do you let yourself dream? If when you picture Gaza, let's say in 10 years, do you let yourself dream, or is it too hard?
I imagine Gaza can be Singapore or Dubai, or a touristic destination with an airport and seaport to
For
receive
Palestinians, not
voyages.
Trump's.
Yeah, Palestinian investment. If the occupation comes to an end, but it will not come to an end peace. I mean, with statements. As I said, apartheid South Africa gained their liberation and freedom with sanctions, BDS campaigns, especially, peaceful methods.
Mm.
Um, so Gaza lies on billions of US dollars of natural gas fields.
Yeah.
And one of the hidden goals of this genocide is to extract the gas fields, excavate under the seabeds of Gaza to extract those gas fields. So this is in Palestinian territorial waters. So I still imagine and visualize Gaza. We have rise buildings again and beautiful places, um, but it must be under Palestinian rule. We will not allow, Palestinians will never agree that it will Gaza be bought by Trump or other foreign investors. It must be Palestinians. It has been always Palestinians, and we will make sure it's ruled by Palestinians.
These homes, these lands, even if they are rubble now, these have been in our families for generations. Our parents, worked really, really hard to build it, to develop it, to create a life there. And now you find us all scattered around the world.
This
And the
is
ones
the
in Gaza are being
yeah,
genocided, essentially.
our dreams buried under the ruins and debris and destroyed homes. You cannot imagine how painful for me when I heard that my family house destroyed, my house destroyed, my brother's house is destroyed. It's very painful. And when somebody idiot like Trump, he says he wants to buy Gaza and transform it into a touristic destination. I mean, the rubble is mixed with the blood of our families, the blood of innocent children. So I cannot understand what kind of human beings they are. This is an advanced way of ethnic cleansing.
But it's happened
It's a slow
before, like
motion genocide.
In Tantura, and the rest of the Palestinian coast, which is now Israel. You've got actual resorts on top of mass graves of Palestinians that were killed en masse in 1948.
Yeah,
Magdor
this
Beach.
shows the disregard. As I said, they don't consider Palestinians humans. We are subhumans in their eyes. We are numbers. Every day they decide how many Palestinians they want to kill. 50. Before the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation exposed, they used to kill hundreds a day. But after this, hostile, inhumane organization was exposed, now they reduced the numbers
Yeah.
of starving Palestinians they kill every day. So we know that some Palestinians dream of returning back to their homes and towns in historic Palestine. That's why they still continue. They keep the keys and documents that prove their ownership to the lands and their cities. But as I say, colonizers, they know that one day they will leave because we are the indigenous people of the land. We were stripped of our inalienable rights. And as long as Palestinians live on their land, and as long as they are rooted in that land, I think the future is ours. Palestinians will, clinch to the right of return.
And if you could speak to the world unfiltered about Gaza, beyond the politics, beyond the headlines, um, just completely unfiltered, what would you say?
Gaza has exposed the hypocrisy of the world. Gaza will haunt all those officials who were able to put an end to this genocide and who are complicit. Gaza will be a curse that will chase all those officials who chose to support the oppression of the Palestinian people. But Gaza also taught the world the means of resilience, the means of steadfastness, the means of courage, how to remain steadfast on your land. Gaza has inspired the world. So I hope that, but at the meantime, we are not superheroes. We need the solidarity of the world. Gaza has sent a clear message to the world that when you believe in a just cause, you will not abandon it.
Yeah. Thank you, Yousef. I won't take much more of your time. But yeah, it's hard to know what to say anymore because we keep repeating everything again and again, and we just hope that, justice will be delivered.
We hope so. People lost hope in the so-called international community, and I guess they are waiting for a miracle.
Yeah.
Inshallah, the suffering will come to an end,
Yeah.
and the perpetrators will be brought to justice.
Inshallah. Okay, I'll leave you to it then.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Yousef.
مع السلامة.
لأني ولدت فلسطينيا لأن جذور